Podouken. All right, so let's move on to listener questions. I think we'll go through a couple today.
Sure.
Kind of make up for our missing ep the last time. But Raymond the Frog says, what 4 faces deserve to be on the Mount Rushmore of arcade characters?
Okay, so are we going to collab on this?
I think we collab on this one.
Okay.
So I feel like...
You got to have a Street Fighter 2 character.
Okay, so I was going to go classic and then see what else we could squeeze in. Because I think there's absolutely 2 classic characters you have to have on Mount Rushmore.
Got to be Pac-Man.
Pac-Man and Invader.
Yeah.
From Space Invaders. I feel like those are like necessities.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then that leaves us with 2 more.
I think it's got to be a Street Fighter 2 character.
So it'd have to be Ryu.
Either Ryu or Chun-Li, yeah.
Have to be Ryu, I think.
Okay.
I mean, we need some diversity on the Mount Rushmore.
Space Invader might be Lady. We don't know.
I mean, a Miss Pac-Man would be just as good as Pac-Man, right?
Honestly, it should be Miss Pac-Man.
Although it's Rushmore, are you going to be able to see the bow? Like, is there anything on the
top? You see on the front?
I thought it was like back here,
yeah,
like in the back of the head. So
she's leaning forward a little bit. Well, okay, we'll do Miss Pac-Man.
Okay, Miss Pac-Man, Invader.
I'd say Ryu.
Is Ryu the fighting game representative?
It has to be.
Because I think Mortal Kombat has a good claim to
It does.
Mount Rushmore also.
It does, but I think you'd have to give it Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
And again, I love Mortal Kombat.
So we got late 70s, early 80s, early 90s.
Fourth one's going to be tough.
So I don't know about this. I'm just talking it through.
I'm going to say Cleveland L.
Last half of the but having a Tetris piece, I feel that Tetris got co-opted by the home console market quite a bit, though.
It definitely did.
So, I mean, yes, it started in arcades, and we're claiming it. We're not giving that up.
Right.
But I feel like everybody associates the Game Boy and NES.
That's
and
honestly
stuff.
fair.
So is there a late 80s representative? I know Double Dragon was one of the ones that came back in, but, I mean, I don't want Jimmy or Bimmy on there necessarily.
Well, so I think we don't have any beat-em-up representation.
Ooh.
So
put them on there. Everybody's favorite mayor.
So hang on. So I think so our options are puzzle or beat-em-up, in my opinion. Game types. And like for me, like Tetris really isn't a character. Like the pieces aren't a character. So
although they'd be really easy to carve into a mountain.
Just put all 4 pieces, yeah.
It's super recognizable.
I was kind of joking, but it might actually work. I would say my vote would be for beat 'em up character. Which beat 'em up character is tough? Because I think Final Fight has a case, 100%. I think Turtles has a case, but which turtle? I think really any of the Konami.
Honestly, they're all in stone, so
right,
and they're just the heads, so really it could be any turtle.
Right,
you
got to put the freckles in the different spots. I don't know.
I'm still going to vote Mike Hagar.
Yeah,
for
I think
most recognizable, and he's already a politician, so it makes sense.
I think Final Fight would be up there. I think the only other really.
Double Dragon definitely needs consideration.
Double Dragon could be
that.
consideration.
Yeah.
It could. In hindsight, I just think
the brothers can't even like share a woman. Like they fight over her at the end. Like they're not going to be able to agree who's going to be on the Mount Rushmore.
So I don't think you can pick them.
Yeah,
you can. It can't be Bimmy.
Well, come on. What's your input here?
The biggest beat 'em ups are going to be
the last one is tough. I mean, I tend to go earlier just because I feel like anything later was like a refinement of stuff. So
I feel we have to honor the spirit of Mount Rushmore, though, right? You have the first.
Right.
You have the soon after. You have Lincoln 16th, and then you have Teddy Roosevelt, which is much later. So I feel there has to be some sort of spanning of.
To me, that Ryu feels that kind of like.
Is Ryu the Teddy Roosevelt or is Ryu the Abraham Lincoln?
The Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay, so we have a Lincoln, and that's what I think we're talking about now, late 80s.
Yeah.
Who's your Lincoln?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would tend to go like Double Dragon, even though like I would want to go maybe something a little later. But I guess I could say.
I mean, unless you put one of them on a jet ski, are you even going to know that it's a Double Dragon character?
No. But
I'm
are enough
fine
people going
giving
to
it
recognize Mike Hagar or Cody or one of the,
Yeah, it's iconic.
I think I'm fine.
Get just enough of that one suspender on the sculpture.
I'm
Yeah,
fine
but
giving it
as much as-
to Hagar.
I feel like I'm trying to browbeat
No,
you guys. I'm not.
You're
I
not
just-
though.
I'm trying to think of somebody who's and he's he's basically Teddy Roosevelt without the glasses. Let's be honest. He's already got the mustache.
Well, I'm the one who said we have to have beat 'em up representation.
Yeah,
you have to.
I don't know. Puzzler, I feel like Tetris. I know you kind of joked about it, but I feel
it's
like
a good
Tetris
choice.
Would have been
if there's 5, I think a Tetrino definitely makes its way on too.
Even at 4, I would,
My only thing with that is it not being associated with arcades much.
Right.
Well, that and it's not really a face. It's not like a character per se. So
as opposed to the ball with a mouth and a butt.
that's a face.
That's questionable whether it has a butt or not.
Well,
It's got a
It's just
butthole.
in the mountain. You don't see that part.
I'm fine giving it to Hagar. I think it makes sense. They're kind of the genesis of their genres in a sense.
And Phil Collins definitely Mike Hagar is definitely the Phil Collins of the Genesis in this case.
I don't want him on there anymore. Get him out. That would be our Mount Rushmore.
All right.
Mount Gamemore.
I saw a 7-minute YouTube video of
just
the
the drumming
drum and but they were walking and they had set up it was like a music store and they had set up a drum kits all along. Yes, but he was walking the entire mall or whatever the plaza was.
My favorite is I think it was Cadbury cream eggs or something.
Yes,
with the gorilla.
Yeah,
doing In the Air Tonight. Yeah. Okay, so great question.
Very good question.
Next one, little lightning round here. This is from Frozen Fear, who simply asks, dwindling health, bug or feature?
I absolutely hate it. One of my favorite games is Magic Sword, and it's a penalty. It's just they want more money. I hate dwindling health. It doesn't make any sense other than it just wants more money. There's no benefit to it. I hate it. It's not a bug, but it's an annoying feature.
Yeah, I feel like it's essential to some games, though. I feel like they wouldn't be fun or as fun with a different health system. So
I'm going to compromise.
Okay.
You're both right.
Thank you.
It is an annoying feature
Yeah.
that is absolutely necessary.
Okay.
Because you have to program something that just doesn't let characters linger on the screen
100%.
without losing your health. So it's either that
Every
or
game should have Splinter come out and drop bombs.
Well, that's what I say. It's either that or you have to program all these explosion animation where missiles come in and blow them up.
Yes.
You have to find same way to get rid of the characters so other people can't just walk up and play them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is the whole idea. So definitely a feature, just a very annoying one.
Yeah.
Dymo22 asks, what's a fake video game from a movie or TV show that you would want to see made real?
Easy one is a jump to Bone Storm.
That was mine too.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's the most
especially being
obvious
around
one.
this holiday.
But I mean,
it's
that's essentially Golden Axe.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what's that stupid fake game that everyone says is real that like makes you go crazy?
Polybius.
Polybius, yeah. I don't know.
I wouldn't want to make the game that makes everybody go crazy the real one, though.
I would. That'd be fun. Yeah, I don't know. I have to think more about things that had fake games in them. I do always admire when there's a television show from the 80s or 90s and there's arcade cabinets in the back. Sometimes they would cover up the marquees, and I'm always I know what game that is. I love that.
Well, that, and sometimes they were pretty creative.
yeah, they'd make fake marquees and stuff.
They would actually give it a persona and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some were definitely phoned in, but
There was one from, I forget what show it was, but it was about playing an arcade in the mall. It was not a Goosebumps thing, but it was a show like Goosebumps where there was, it was like the Wizard of, it was based on Wizard of War, but it was some other game.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Where he was going in a mall and then eventually gets sucked into it or something.
Yeah, I think that's Are You Afraid of the Dark? There's that, and like Bart, The Simpsons had one in there too, where like Bart was like skipped school and was playing. I can't remember the name of it. We could play Invaders from Space from Futurama.
Left, right, drop, left,
Repeat.
Right, drop. Dymo says he'd like to play Burger Boss from that one episode of Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It seemed a bit like Panic Restaurant for the NES.
Panic Restaurant is such a good game. Like that's like that might be the best. Like, hey, this game's expensive but also good on the NES.
Yeah.
Little Samson is okay, overrated.
Yeah,
But
and then the rest of them are just not good. Like stadium events and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're all. I mean, they're media. Like some of them are okay, but like Panic Restaurant's by far my favorite.
Any last call on fake video games from media?
I mean, I really have to look at the list. Bone Storm, just because it's Christmas time.
Bone
like
Storm.
That.
You selected Power Driver.
That and like that whole scene, like you forget. Like I was thinking about it. I was talking to Christina about it because that clip had come up over the holidays, and I showed it to her, and I'm like, I remember watching this like growing up as a younger kid, and like it being hilarious. Just the whole premise, the whole scene, and then like him being like, you know, him telling his mom to go to hell or whatever, and Homer being like, we don't use that language around here. Here we say please. And like,
I think you actually printed them for me, but I had made Bone Storm NES cartridges for my friends for Christmas one year, and I think you had printed the
golf and the
Lee Trevino's Power Golf and Bone Storm. I think you printed labels for me.
I think I did, yeah.
All right, do you have one more?
Oh, let me see here. The other question is, we'll go with this one from MT. Assuming you could get sucked into the game Captain N style, which arcade game world would be the best to live within?
And
I already know my answer.
And he has two versions. One is Trapped in Forever, and then alternatively like a visit, like a 1-2 day, 3 day overnight.
Nice Airbnb.
Yeah. Mine forever 100% is Outrun 2.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Do you not think the constant music would get annoying after a while?
You can't die, and you rip Ferraris all day long.
You rip Ferraris, you got a girlfriend, you can't die.
Yeah.
You do have, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to say Outrun 2, like the super deluxe version or whatever, because VGA graphics is a little bit better quality.
Oh yeah,
you get to choose a couple different courses, and then you get both soundtracks, the original Outrun or the updated one. So
Outrun's a fantastic world to live in.
Mm-hmm.
As far as 3-day visit, I'm gonna go Neo Turf Masters.
I was thinking the same thing because
get out of my brain, dude. You already took my Outrun 2 one.
That was where I went at first because I was like, well, the locations are nice.
Yeah.
Like you can enjoy.
You can go to Japan, Australia, the U.S.
Yeah, that would be, and you can play golf. You can enjoy yourself.
That's a tough one. I mean, basically every game that's made, unless it's a sports or driving type thing, is about how awful the world is and how you need to save it.
Or you're going to die.
I don't know, like New Zealand Story or something.
There
I mean,
you go.
like you get some cutesiness and there's food.
You can go to Windjammers.
Yeah.
That's kind of sports, though.
That's kind of like living in an American Gladiators episode.
Yeah.
But as far as just a nice visit, I think a nice visit would be like something challenging. Like I'd go back and go back in time to 64th Street, A Detective Story, and have a nice little 2-3 day weekend.
Okay,
exploring the Secrets Factory, hopping on a train, doing all kinds of 1930s detective
I was gonna say,
stuff.
It's almost like a time.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Star Trek
traveling.
Next Generation episodes when they go to holodeck and do like all the private dick stuff.
Or a quantum leap episode.
Yeah, Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula.
There you go.
All right, well, I think those are our questions. Got through a couple this episode to kind of catch back up. But yeah, Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, definitely something you should check out if you can. It is on MAME. It's not perfect, but if you have access to the Sega Astro Mini or working one up, then I guess you can play it on those. But definitely check it out. Let us know what you think compared to the original Golden Axe, and what your likes, dislikes are about it. Be interesting to hear. All right, so Jared,
Yeah.
as we wrap up our first episode of 2025.
Oh man.
Where can they find you this year?
Depends on the part of the year.
Okay,
So
let's
right
not get too
now
technical.
here, apparently scouring Facebook Marketplace for vehicle options. So if anyone has,
I did see a Dodge Viper on there today.
see, we had the discussion before recording, but I'm going.
The nice
we're
1.5
replacing-
seater
We're
Dodge
we're
Viper.
replacing the family vehicle, so
Oh,
it needs to
okay.
be like a
Well,
five,
I mean,
How
you can
about
always get rid of family.
6-seater.
I'll send you a
vehicle.
link. Someone did buy a rear-ended Dodge Demon
Yeah.
and put the engine and transmission, the whole drivetrain, into a Dodge Caravan. That might work for you.
That may.
What about
What's-
sidecars? Have you
what is-
considered sidecars? You can kind of make like the Fantastic Four car, but each family member has a sidecar on the side of the Viper.
What about one of those like very cartoonish bicycles? For like 9
like
people?
a penny farthing?
Yeah. Well, no. That'd be awesome too.
Can you imagine penny farthings hooked up behind a
Yeah.
Dodge Viper? Just that one
But
front
no, I
wheel,
meant
just
like the one where it's like it's like 12 feet long and it's like 6 bikes, but
Yeah.
one bike.
Or like one of the ones where they have the bar in the center and everyone's
Yeah.
pedaling around
Yes,
it.
yeah.
No, what
a
is
bicycle
interesting-
built for a Catholic family.
Yeah, exactly. We, my kids and me have been watching a lot of Matt Armstrong and some of the YouTube rebuild shows.
Oh, you're gonna get a
So-
Lamborghini Urus?
No, well,
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
But my youngest was literally had the iPad and gotten on Copart.
Oh,
And
no.
was looking, and he was like, "Dad, we should get our vehicle off of Copart." And I was like, if we were going to fix a vehicle, we could just pretend our current van is a
from
Copart vehicle. Like I can outline the stuff that is wrong with it that we would have to be fixing. So yeah, he was convinced that we could
That's very funny.
do our own version.
All right, Adam, where can I find you?
Twitch.tv/PassBlaster. I do try to stream weekly and have been streaming some of the games that we've talked about, and we'll continue to do more of that. Maybe.
I got cool new drones. I'm hoping to get some more
Yeah.
footage of the arcade up on our YouTube channel.
It
and
sounds like a very, very angry swarm of bees.
It does. But you just shoot it on silent and you add some music to
That's
it, and it's
neat.
all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was certainly impressed by the basic follow me footage that you were doing.
It was neat. He was flying it around
showed
here
us,
today.
yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I did a little bit
did
of
you? Okay.
the arcade today just to do some test footage, but we'll plan on putting together kind of like a literal walkthrough of like a
Fly-through.
third-person perspective
Oh yeah.
with the drone following you of the arcade. But I think also I'm getting ready to do the biggest game buy I've ever done before.
Yeah.
So I'll just tease that. By the time this episode comes out, hopefully everything will have gone smoothly, and we'll have a bunch of new games to talk about. But we'll give some details in the next episode about how everything went. Good, I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, very excited for that.
I will pick up a bottle of ibuprofen before we move them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You got any of that IB cream
Oh, yeah.
left over?
I do, and I'll be picking
He's
up
like-
some more here in a few months when I return to England and Scotland. So yes, we'll definitely need that.
That'll be our new.
The sponsorship, yeah.
like IME cards imported from Japan that you can get here at the arcade, and IB cream from from Scotland.
Hey man,
What a weird arcade.
I mean, I know I'm only going to see ads about that now that all of
Yeah.
our devices have heard that. But
Correct.
yeah, I'm the target. So so I think that's going to wrap us up for this episode.
All right.
First of 2025,
Yeah.
the fourth in our 4-player miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
Still a couple more to go in this miniseries.
Yeah.
We're not close to stopping yet.
Nope.
So we'll do a couple more here. But you can join us next time when we're going to talk about a supremely underrated game that I have been waiting 5 years to talk about.
All right.
See y'all next time.
See ya.
Later.